What's rocking? What have been your greatest lessons learned over the last week, or your greatest victories had over the last week?
Did I start out?
Fire away, Rockstar Hawaii.
Starting last Sunday, I picked up a buyer, and it looks like we're going into contract tomorrow. And GCI is going to be at least 12 grand. And then I had a brokerage open on one of my listings, and just had a herd of cows come through, like nothing there, right? And I'm like, man. And but then yesterday, I literally picked up a seller and a buyer that needs to sell. And to be conservative, we're looking at a conservative at 2.5% on the low end, 36 grand. So that's 47 grand in a week. And I'm thinking, oh my goodness, I got to do more open houses. So just wanted to encourage you guys there.
Nice, awesome. Yeah, Chris.
So I just say stick with this system. Just stick with it, right? Because don't focus on the immediate results. Just continue to do it, and it's going to come through. I'm testing it, right? So we just have to test it and be persistent. And my gosh, it's paying off, right? It's paying off large.
Yeah, cool. Who else has got something they want to share? Lesson learned, victory had over the last week?
Hey, Jonathan, it's Frank. I'll jump in. Well, actually, I got to do my first open house in, I don't know, 10 years maybe this weekend. And it was for a $350,000 townhome that just happens to be my listing. Interestingly enough, I had told my sellers that I didn't do open houses when I first got this thing listed, and they said, well, good, because I don't want to do an open house. So of course I got back from the 3-day event and gave her a call and told her we're doing an open house, and she was like, okay. So anyway, I did the open house yesterday, and hell broke loose, and all of a sudden within the last hour I had 4 other people show up. And so the first thing I could say is that, I remembered to do my, hey, welcome to your new home type thing. And it was funny because everybody was immediately disarmed by that comment. And they all kind of jumped back a little bit and had big smiles on their faces. And I'm assuming that they've never been to an open house where somebody ever said that to them. So to the point where I had people lined up behind one another, just waiting to talk to me. So, but I got everybody's information. Out of the people that all came in, Mary and I were sitting down last night trying to figure this out. It's potential for about $75,000 to $80,000 worth of GCI if this thing works out. To some people in the pool, and she wound up doing a semi-IC in the pool with them. So we sat there and looked at each other and said, this is so weird. I can't remember. We've been selling real estate for over 10 years, and I cannot remember ever having face-to-face, legitimate, constructive conversations with potential leads like this, where, it means one thing to try to get them on the phone or to send emails back and forth or text one another, but to actually have face-to-face contact with people and to have that many in one day was pretty exciting. And so all I'll say is, I guess, I didn't really have a whole lot of expectation going into my first open house. Really thought that I was going to wind up with one person, but didn't really, wasn't going to let that, worry me. But the fact that we had 5 and then an additional one was a pretty bang up day for just the first time. So I guess you've made a personal believer in me that this thing really works.
Klaus, good morning.
Good morning.
So I had an open house on Saturday. The second one I had to cancel because of the storms, but the one I only had one visitor, and they were in and out pretty quickly, but I did the same thing. I actually walked them. The AC quit in the house, and we had 95 degrees in there, so nobody wanted to stay in the house. So I went ahead and walked behind them outside. It was not much cooler outside, but I did a IC with them, and I struggled through the 7 questions, but I made it through. Got my money with me. So I went ahead and got it and picked up a buyer for probably about 20 grand GCI. And yeah, that was it. Well,